There was Radio Scotland was doing another vegan topic the other day, and they were talking about whether vegans get a lot of stick, grief, abuse, and just their opinion on it. So I haven't actually fully listened to it; just heard some snippets. So let's listen to it, and here's my thoughts on it.
8:02 o'clock, so stay tuned for that. Wednesday, International Vegan Day this week. Also, though, the day the editor of Waitrose magazine stepped down after making a joke in an email about killing vegans. A third of Britons in a survey for Waitrose say they've now stopped or have drastically reduced the amount of meat they consume. And yet veganism still generates some starkly divided opinions. You've only got to look at social media to see that. Broadcaster Adrian Chiles says he's gone mostly vegan. He never gets invited out for dinner anymore. So why do we give people such a hard time just because they choose not to eat meat? Why do vegans get such a hard time? 08085.
I think that the basic answer for that is because you're massively stepping out with the cultural norm. Yes, you may be doing something good. Yes, you may be doing something which is positive for the environment, for the animals, for ethical reasons, maybe for weight reasons, maybe even for health reasons. But you're doing something which culturally, socially, is out with the norm. And generally people in our country, if you're a wee bit different, then will either make jokes about you, we will laugh about you, and that's why there's so many things which are promoted as like hate speech or misogyny or sexism. Well, sexism and misogyny is probably the same thing. That it almost has become legalized, or was it anti-religion kind of thing, where even jokes about somebody's religion or the things that they do can initially just be jokes, but it can it's part of the fact that you're a different culture going on there. So let's hear what people have got to say about that.
Morning. Aoife is in Glasgow this morning. Morning, Aoife.
Good morning.
Morning. Are you one of these recent converts, or are you long-term vegan?
I'd probably say I'm long-term. It's been 17 years now, and I'm not that old, so...
So you've heard all the jokes, probably, and all the stereotypes. Are you used to them now?
Yeah, I am. I think things are getting a little bit better, you know, especially in Glasgow, when they've got more vegan restaurants and cafes, and there's a kind of a better understanding from there was a couple of years ago.
What are the stereotypes that you face as a vegan?
I would say one of the things is physical appearance, how you present yourself, and how you come across at kind of meal times when there's other meat eaters and kind of things like that. You know, if you're coming across as judgmental or aggressive, I think that's what a lot of people unfortunately do think about vegans, that they're very much out there in how they dress and their opinions, which isn't always true. That's just a general stereotype.
And
how they dress? That's a different one. But I guess that's along the idea of a slightly older version of what vegans were, where they were like total hippies that just wore, you can't even say willy socks or really knit their own kind of clothes kind of stuff. But I would say that's not a modern interpretation of veganism. Like literally, veganism doesn't really have a clothes. Hey, hold on, I'll show you a good example of very stylish, very cool vegan that probably none of you have heard of before. Check out this sexy guy. This is Alexei Lubomirsky, who is this fashion photographer, travels the world. Check out his channel, Studio at Alexei. I'll put the link down to his stuff below. But this guy.
Hi there, it's 6 o'clock in the morning in Shanghai on Sunday. I just realized that last week was World Vegans Day. I get asked all the time about veganism on set and why I do it and what are the goals and the results. So I wanted to break it down very quickly on here. I see that there are 4 doorways into veganism. One is because you want to get more healthy, the other one is because you want to save the animals, the other one is because you want to save the environment, and the other one is because you want to get more spiritual. The really, really cool thing is that once you're in there, it doesn't matter which doorway you take, you reap all the benefits and you sow all the benefits. So you end up saving the planet, saving the animals, getting more healthy, and you get more spiritual whether you like it or not. So that's a win-win-win-win. That's
So check out this guy. This guy is an absolute legend in fashion photography. His videos don't get nearly enough views, but this guy, if you want to see a cool-headed, stylish fashion photographer guy that is going around the world,
We're shooting British Harper's.
what an inspiration for other vegans. If you're like, hey, I want to be a vegan, I don't want to have an education. Education is bad, blah blah blah. Look at this guy. He is smart, hardworking, and it's just awesome.
Anyway, you just put her in a location in some code.
And what a nice guy as well. He sounds like such an awesome guy. Anyway, so yeah, so if you think, oh yeah, vegans, they're all like total hippies, check out, just type in vegan activists, vegan rock stars. How many, like, who is it? Is it Mike Tyson? Is Mike Tyson vegan? I think he is, or something like that. It's like, yeah, you can't really say that vegans have a certain look anymore whenever you have, like, ex-prison convict world boxing champions being vegans. Anyway. So yeah, people who have those stereotypes are a bit retarded.
They say that behind your back, Aoife, or do people actually say to your face that kind of thing?
A lot of people I find that they try and be judgmental because they start asking. Sometimes it's a lack of knowledge, or sometimes it feels like they're trying to trip you up by asking you, oh, do you not wear leather shoes, or what about your makeup, or, you know, they're asking questions, but sometimes I wonder why they're asking the questions.
We spoke with Rachel Nicholson, who's a vegan chef, earlier on about the perception that vegans are out to convert the world, they're out to proselytize and change us all to their lifestyle. Are you?
I would say I go about, you know, I have my morals, and my morals is being a vegan because I love animals and I don't want to hurt them in any way. And I appreciate there's loads of people that love and care for animals, but they're not a vegan. But for me, that's taking it to the next level. And unless you ask me about being a vegan, I don't think it's appropriate for me to put my morals and beliefs onto you unless you want to get into the discussion, unless you want to find out more about it.
I would also say that a lot of vegans as well is not necessarily pushing on your morals and beliefs. It's you're kind of wanting everyone else to suddenly see all the horrors which you've seen, which sounds wrong, but in other words, a lot of people who've gone vegan, that have done a bit of research, that have seen the cruelty of the dairy and the beef and the just cattle farming in general, and just kind of realizing, oh my goodness, this is barbaric. And I think veganism wouldn't have nearly as much of a grip that it has just now if it wasn't for the absolute barbaric practices and industrialized kind of conveyor belt of animals that we have. That if it was back in the days where just a happy old cow on the farm, oh, you get its milk and then it gets old, so maybe we'll get some meat because we don't have any meat during the winter. Oh, we need it to survive. But I think it's when you suddenly come out of the old-fashioned belief of we need it to survive and if we don't have meat we'll die, and realising actually we live in modern society and what we're doing to animals is horrific and nowhere even close to what we would have done naturally, you kind of want everyone else to kind of realise the abhorrent practices which we are supporting. So not necessarily just about morals, not about ethics, but just going, guys, do you realise, like, we're being so bad to our animals? How about we don't support that? So it's not about morals, it's not about ethics, it's just suddenly realising the horror that is modern farming practices.
Because you have your own morals and I mightn't want to know about them, so why would you put it onto somebody else?
Aoife, thanks for your time this morning. 08085 92 95 00 80295 on the text. Why do vegans get such a hard time? Louise is in Glasgow this morning. Morning, Louise.
Morning.
You're a more recent convert, aren't you?
Yeah, 2 years.
Right. Do you recognise what we're talking about here? Do you recognise the hard time that vegans seem to get?
Yes, unfortunately one of my friends, the whole family's vegan, and her 13-year-old daughter goes to school, won't name school, but the poor lassie goes into the lunchtime and she gets hit with baked potatoes, apples by the other children. And the actual teacher said back to the parents, well, why can't she just eat a bit of meat in school? Maybe this wouldn't happen. Obviously, she's not the truly vegans and they're vegans for animals. But I just don't understand why people want to.
That's not just, hey, here's a couple of jokes about you. People throwing potatoes and apples at a kid in school, and instead of the teachers getting the kids who are doing the abuse, the bullying, getting them in trouble, the teachers are going to the parents going, why don't you just make your kid eat meat? Wow. Can you imagine if veganism, which is a structured belief system, imagine if it was protected in the same way of like it was Judaism or Islam, where it's like, oh, why don't you just eat, what do Jews not like to eat? Pigs. Why don't you just have some bacon? Or like some Buddhists there as well, like, why don't you just have some cow? Yeah, I was like, and we're all going to throw bits of ham at you because you're not eating enough bacon. Imagine. I would have a word with the school there and maybe do a bit of naming and shaming of going, yes, my child doesn't want to partake in eating animal parts, and because of that, she's being bullied and having food thrown at her, and the teachers don't support my child's decisions. Wow. I think that's a case of name and shame that school and those teachers.
Come on and flag vegans because we're doing the compassionate things for the environment, for the animals, and actually eating vegan has been proven to be more healthy for us. But also know that there's animal rights people out there that are vegan, and all they're trying to do is, save some life. But the people are getting called terrorists for being animal rights.
But here we get to the nub of this, Louise, because when you say there, I'm doing the compassionate thing as a vegan, I'm a meat eater. You are suggesting in your language that I am not compassionate and I don't care about the environment and I don't care about animals. And most people who choose to eat meat don't accept that. They care. They just choose to make a different choice.
So what I would say, you've not made that connection yet, and it could come. But I can't force you.
You see, that's sounding like religion, isn't it?
No. I'm Catholic, but I don't practice it because priests go to see Bill fighting. So I'm I'm more compassionate for animals than humans, I'm sorry to say, but that's just who I am. I was out for lunch with my friend, mind my own business, and I was given a vegan menu, and this man sat beside me and went, wow, what do you eat? I mean, come on, a cabbage. And I says, no, you often find them out in the fields with the cows, eating a bit of grass. I mean, things have moved on. There's more healthier options for vegans. We've got more. But I would never condemn a meat eater because one of my friends has actually turned from meat eating to vegetarian because she's seen some in the literature and it was proven it's better, healthy for you.
Do you think, do you think you might ever be tempted back by that proverbial bacon sandwich?
Never.
The smell of the sizzle?
No, see, that should have been cheeky.
That's what I'm here for. Do you think the editor of Waitrose magazine was right to stand down after making what he said was a joke about killing vegans in an email?
Well, I'm glad he stood down because he's actually connected to the hunt, fox hunting. So the man's actually not a very nice person. In the animal world, I don't know in person how he is with people. But so I think Waitrose has done the right thing and he stepped down because it's just, I wouldn't go about saying, I want to kill all meat eaters. It's just no nice, is it?
But we're all being judgmental here.
Some vegans have said that, certain Freely, the banana warrior, wherever she is. So although most vegans say I wouldn't promote killing all meat eaters, unfortunately there have been idiots in the vegan community. We have said that. Oh god, they're annoying. Vegans get a bit of grief, and I think a lot of vegans can take that fairly easily and just kind of go, yeah, it's a joke, yeah, it's a bit funny, yeah, ha ha ha. But then the vegans get to walk away kind of going, yeah, but I'm doing the right thing. Yeah, I'm doing stuff which is good for my health, good for the environment, good for the animals. And so yeah, we can take a joke because we kind of feel that we're a little bit more in the right, and if we watch enough kind of research or enough debates online, we can batter away any of their arguments or their jokes, because in the end they are just jokes. But when it gets to the point where kids are having food thrown at them because they don't eat meat, that's a different level. And I think that's where I think any school that promotes or supports the bullies in that situation needs to have a serious look at its anti-bullying protocols, or whatever it is. So yeah, do vegans get a lot of hard time? Yeah, but most of the time, it's not that big a deal.